In the 1730s, Europe was stunned by a mechanical duck that seemed to eat, move, and even digest. It was only gears and clever illusion, but people leaned in anyway, desperate to believe they were seeing life. Tonight, that ancient fascination returns inside a darker workshop, where one inventor is doing something far stranger. He is taking dead animals and turning them into robots. And the question hanging over every wire, every hinge, every careful touch is simple. Can something that has already stopped living be made to move again without becoming something even more unsettling? The workshop feels like a secret kept under layers of dust and silence. Tools are arranged with almost obsessive precision. Motors wait beside tiny joints. Wires are coiled like sleeping nerves. Nothing here is random, and that makes it worse. Every object suggests intention. Every surface suggests hours of patience. The inventor works like someone who has crossed from hobby into ritual, as if he believes the difference between art and obsession is only a matter of lighting. He is not building machines that look like animals. He is rebuilding the idea of an animal from the inside out. And the bodies matter. They are not trophies. They are not taken for cruelty or shock. They are the kind of specimens that live in the uneasy border between taxidermy and transformation. Animals that died naturally, were donated, or were salvaged after accidents, then placed into a new purpose. That detail changes the feeling completely. Taxidermy has always tried to manufacture stillness that feels alive. Museums have used it to freeze motion, to preserve a moment, to let the eye believe the animal is only resting. This inventor is taking that old tradition and pushing it one step farther. He is not preserving life. He is teaching stillness how to move. He starts with the smallest creature first, because the smallest creature is the easiest to ruin. The body is cleaned, reinforced, and carefully measured against a frame that will hide beneath fur, feathers, and skin. Tiny hinges are tested against parts of the skeleton that no longer bear weight. A battery nestles where warmth used to be. A servo slides into place where muscle once did the work. Up close, the illusion is impossible to ignore. A jaw joint appears where there should only be bone. A spine becomes a track for motion. And yet, from a few steps back, it still looks familiar. That is the dangerous part. Familiarity makes the mind forgive almost anything. Then the project grows more ambitious. One animal becomes two. Two become a row of experiments waiting for their turn. Each body demands a different kind of engineering. A bird needs balance. A rabbit needs delicacy. A fox needs motion that can suggest alertness without collapsing into stiffness. The inventor keeps adjusting, tightening, and reworking until each form can carry its own strange logic. The workshop begins to feel less like a studio and more like a museum after midnight, where every specimen is paused between death and performance. The silence around them feels intentional, heavy, as if the room itself is waiting to see whether the spell will hold. This is where the idea becomes genuinely disturbing. The closer something gets to life, the more our brains start searching for mistakes. That is the uncanny valley, that strange psychological dip where almost real becomes more unsettling than clearly artificial. A slight delay, a crooked movement, a pause that lasts one beat too long. Suddenly the mind stops seeing craftsmanship and starts seeing threat. That is why these creations are so effective. They do not need gore. They do not need noise. They only need the suggestion that a body remembers how to move, even after the world has decided it should not. On the bench, one body gives the first sign that the experiment is about to change. At first, it is easy to doubt it. A tiny shift, a flicker of motion so subtle it could be imagined. Then comes the low mechanical whir, barely audible but impossible to ignore once it begins. A shoulder lifts, a head tilts. The room seems to contract around that small movement, as if everyone has unconsciously stepped closer. This is the real turning point. Not because the machine is fully alive, but because it is no longer dead still. It has crossed the line into response. He powers it again, and this time the change is unmistakable. The creature reacts with a hesitant testing motion, like something waking from a dream it does not trust. Tiny legs flex, a beak opens and closes, a tail gives a slow, measured sweep that feels almost too deliberate. The effect is not fast or flashy, it is worse than that. It is patient. Every movement gives the audience more time to understand what they are seeing, and more time to feel the discomfort settle in. This is not a simple robot performing tricks. It is a body learning a new language. By now, the workshop has become a place where curiosity and dread live side by side. There is also a deeper tension in the air, the kind that comes from knowing how strange this idea really is. In the real world, the line between art and controversy can be thin. Dead animals used in art are often judged not by the mechanics, but by what they represent. To some people, this is experimental sculpture. To others, it is an impossible thing to justify. And that disagreement is part of the power. The invention does not just move, it forces a reaction. It demands a verdict before the reveal is even complete. Then comes the final build. The last creature is assembled more carefully than the rest. Because this is the one meant to hold the whole idea together. The hidden frame is locked into place. The joints are aligned. The wiring disappears beneath the surface so thoroughly that the body looks untouched until it moves. That is the genius of it. The invention does not want to look mechanical from afar. It wants to surprise you by becoming mechanical only after you have already accepted it as alive. The inventor steps back. He studies the line of creations in front of him, and for the first time, the room does not feel like a workshop. It feels like a collection of impossible things, all waiting for permission to begin. Then the power comes on, and the full reveal lands all at once. What was once still now moves as a complete family of strange mechanical creatures, each one carrying the shape of the animal it used to be and the unmistakable pulse of machine life beneath the surface. It is beautiful for a second, then it becomes eerie again. A robotic animal should feel playful, almost charming. These do not. They feel solemn, haunted, like artifacts from a future that learned how to preserve death by making it walk. That is what makes the final image so unforgettable. The body is familiar, the motion is not, and the mismatch stays with you. What he has created is not just a robot and not just taxidermy. It is a new kind of kinetic art built on the oldest human impulse of all, to make still things move and dead things answer back. For centuries, inventors have chased that line between machine and life. From the first automatons to modern animatronics, the dream has always been the same. But this version feels darker, more intimate, and harder to forget. It asks a question that never quite goes away. If motion can be built into a body that was once alive, what exactly are we looking at now? In the end, that is the real shock. Not that he made them move, it is that he made the impossible feel almost natural. And almost natural is where the unease lives. The creations linger in the mind because they are equal parts wonder and warning. They are proof that obsession can turn loss into art, and that art can still make us shiver. Watch to the end and tell us, genius art or nightmare?